I'm Henry Warren. Traveled over here from the United States, and I traveled alone because I didn't have anyone else come with. But when I was 5 months old, my mother died of brain tumor. And by the time I was five, my dad remarried. My stepmother abused me for 10 years and hated me. Said I never amounted to nothing. Told me I would never have any friends. I was not allowed to speak to my family members, all my cousins, aunts, weren't allowed to come around the house. But when I was 10 years old, I accepted Christ. And before I accepted Christ, my life was like an empty glove. It was meaningless. There was no meaning in my life. But when I accepted Christ, it was like that. It was like when I put that glove on, it represented my life after I accepted Christ. He came into my heart and filled me with love. And because of my stepmother's abuse to me, I developed epilepsy, bad case of epilepsy. And then my brothers thought they thought I was crazy and put me in a mental hospital. I stayed there for about 3 months, then went to rehabilitation school, and then I eventually left the farm with only $50 to my name and the clothes I could put in a suitcase. And I went to Alexandria, Virginia, and got an old $28 a week job with an old handicap store. But I worked one job after another, so I got with the federal government. And in 1970, I was traveling with a friend of mine to Canada. There were 2 other people traveling with us. And the car that we was in struck a car in dense fog that crossed the road in front of us. My head went through the windshield. I couldn't get out one side because the steering wheel was caved in. Then the other side, the boy lay there dying. So I couldn't get out on that side. I kind of rode the back seat and took a T-shirt to try to stop the bleeding, but I had no idea what was coming down that road. But God knew. God took me by my hand and led me to the shoulder of that road just moments before a freight truck came and struck the car, and I was about 5 minutes away from my death. Then in 1973, after 10 years of having epileptic attacks, I had a bad epileptic attack before I could get out of the bed. And then 4 months later, I was at a church in Maryland, and I asked God to take that epilepsy from my body. And at that moment, He healed my body, took that epilepsy away. I quit taking my medicine and never had another seizure because God heard my prayer. In 1980, I felt led of the Lord to go to California. I had no idea what He wanted. I had in mind for me, but I felt that He wanted me out there. So I packed up all my stuff, shipped it all to California, and then the first couple of years I was in Oceanside. And then I was walking to my apartment across the railroad tracks, and I was attacked by 3 men, and one of them had a very big piece of metal, about this long, and beat me repeatedly over my head, and the other one were kicking me. My head was covered in blood all over my clothes, and bruises all over my body. then the Lord led me back to San Clemente, California, and after I moved to San Clemente, I received my calling. I accepted a ministry of outreach to Marines at Camp Pendleton. And then I opened up my home as a Christian service home. And then I fed the Marines on Wednesday nights because we didn't have Wednesday night dinner at church. So I fed them. They came by there and enjoyed a nice meal before they went to Bible study. And I kept that ministry up till I retired from civil service. Then I came back to Raleigh after I retired. But I didn't have a ministry for the first 10 years. But then I guess around 2015, and they had that big earthquake here in Nepal. And at that time I wanted so bad to come to Nepal to do something for the people over here. I just had a heart of love for the Nepali people. Then I was looking at the St. Tu's, Tamongs, of friends, and found out Pastor Lyndon Warren was one of her friends. And I called him to tell him what I wanted to do. And I found out he was with Global Mission Nepal. So he put me in touch with Dan Pogle. And I was good friends with Dan Pogle. And then in 2017, I was able to make my first trip to Nepal, coming over here with Dan Pogle. I gave my life testimony to 2 Nepalese churches, plus I greeted people at a seminar. So it was a great feeling to be able to come over here, do what God wanted me to do. But then, then I wanted to come back over here in 2018. And I thought my church would send some people over here, but that didn't materialize. So then we'll put it back to the spring, and that failed through. Nobody. So I was just begging, praying to God, what can I do? Because I wanted to come back over here. I had a pile of stuff in my bedroom to bring over here. And I just thought, what in the world am I going to do with it? Finally, I was talking about coming back over here, getting an airfare by myself. No one came with me. So I took it upon myself to come by myself. So they helped me at each airport with the wheelchair. And a lady was very nice, helping me get my ticket together. And here I am here because of the Lord working in my life and knew that I wanted to get back over here to Nepal. And I got to the airport, and Pastor Akash was there to pick me up. And it is just a blessing to me to get back over here. And while I was here, Pradeep Polo took me to spend the day with him and help pass through candy and clothes to children that didn't even have a shack to live in. They didn't have, and they were dirty and had nothing. But they were so glad to get some candy, and it was so precious that they come up to me, holding them little hands out for a piece of candy. And it was just a blessing from God. So, and I thank you for allowing me to give this testimony.